What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and if not, I hope this video makes you feel a little bit better. I know it's been a while since I posted my last video, but I'm glad to be back. Obviously, it's 2020. Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful celebration. But that means, as promised, we're gonna be looking back throughout 2019 to see what were the 10 worst movies of the year. But before I give you my list, I need to set up a few ground rules here. Number one, this is all based on opinion. It's not even on quality, it's more like on how much they impacted me. If you don't agree with that, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say. Two, I could not see every movie of the year. As a matter of fact, I couldn't review every movie of the year. Sorry, I just, there's no way possible that I can see that. But still, out of the ones that I did watch, well, here's the list. And at number 3, this is not gonna be full reviews. Sorry if it is full reviews. It's gonna be a way longer video, and I just can't do that for you. It's just gonna be way too long for you guys. So it's gonna be very condensed. Some of these, like I said, I did review, so you can go check out those reviews. If not, I'm sorry, I'm gonna try to do better in 2020. But all that being said, here comes the intro. Welcome back. So this is the list before the list, also known as the dishonorable mentions. Here we go. In no particular order, we have Stuber, The Intruder, El Chicano, 21 Bridges, Gemini Man, Playing with Fire, Replicas, Dumbo. Those were the ones that were really bad but couldn't make the list because these next 10 ones that I'm gonna mention, they were just horrible. So at number 10, we have Black Christmas. Wow, this movie was a mess in so many ways. Don't get me wrong, I love a good movie with a good positive or a good message behind it, but this movie just went way overboard. And quite frankly, I could not enjoy it because I was constantly thinking about the message that they were trying to shove down my throat. I appreciate a movie with a message behind it, trying to say something about current politics, current social issues. I don't mind it at all. But when it's constantly thrown at your face every single corner of every single minute, it's not enjoyable. Not only that, the acting was quite bad. The script was a mess. The comedy wasn't even funny. The horror elements of the movie were just like not scary at all. This movie is a mess from beginning all the way to the end, and I do not recommend it in any way, shape, or form. Men in Black International. Goodness gracious that I want this movie to be good. I'm a huge fan of Men in Black. I love the first 2 movies, the third one not so much, but it's still good. I enjoy it. So when I saw that they were making a Men in Black movie with freaking Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson, I was like, I am in, because I loved them in Thor Ragnarok. But this movie, that's the thing. They were the only good things about this movie. Everything else was bad. I mean, honestly, like the comedy was terrible. It's a very forgettable movie. Right now, tell me, what was the plot of Men in Black International? I'm waiting. Exactly. You can't remember because it's a very forgettable movie. And honestly, you can tell that this movie was a cash grab, and it's sad because Men in Black, Will Smith, it's just a great movie. Hellboy. Wow. Hellboy. I mean, I won't lie, I enjoyed myself watching Hellboy. I enjoyed the action. I loved David Harbour as Hellboy, but I'm so saddened by the fact that he's not gonna be able to be Hellboy again because the movie made no money, like at all. But the economic side out of it, Hellboy was just a action-packed disaster. From beginning all the way to the end. The story is very convoluted. There's so much happening on the screen. It's a bloody mess. The only good actor in this movie was David Harbour. Everybody else was just terrible, honestly. The script was a mess. The dialogue was boring. There was no real beginning and end. It was just a mess. It's just a terrible movie. It was just bad. Unicorn Store. I specifically remember the day I watched this movie. Don't ask me the official date, but I remember what that day was. I was actually waiting for some friends of mine to come pick me up. So I watched the movie while I waited, and I remember specifically watching it because it was, if I'm not mistaken, was before Captain Marvel, or after, one of those two. So Samuel Jackson and Brie Larson were fresh on my mind. So I was like, hey, maybe give it a try. I watched it, and I still regret it. This movie was bad of bad. I'm talking about horrible acting, horrible script. The plot was bad. It was just terrible. I mean, literally, I sat down and I was watching this movie and I was literally bored out of my mind. I mean, the movie doesn't even make sense. I mean, I know there's a message in there somewhere. I just couldn't figure it out. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm dumb for not being able to figure out the message. Brie Larson is a mess in this movie. Samuel Jackson, why is he even in this movie? Please, if you want to waste your time, watch this movie. I do not recommend it at all. It is a mess. Ugh. Just remembering it just brings back bad memories. Tyler Perry's A Medea Funeral. I think I'm more disappointed. No, that's a lie. No, I actually think the movie's bad. No, the movie's terrible. The comedy is horrendous, and obviously the biggest ticket item that the Medea movies have is comedy. So if it can't make you laugh, then there's nothing left. It was just a bore, and I'm sad inside because I love Medea movies. I love Tyler Perry's work. This movie's just a mess. It's just bad. It's just bad all over. The jokes weren't funny. The story had no clear vision. The ending is not a good ending. It is a mess. Don't watch it. It's not even worth it. Don't watch it. I don't know why I watched it. You know what? I watched it because you guys know. Never mind. Polar. This is the second Netflix movie in this list. Wow. I mean, this movie defines the word mess. The plot is messy. The action is not enjoyable at all. The acting is horrendous. This movie was basically trying to be like the next R-rated hit, but it actually forgot to be a good movie. And the comedy in this film, it tries to be so funny, but it fails so hard. In the end, this movie is just terrible. Don't watch it. Do not recommend. Bad, 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 bad. Captain Marvel. If you know me personally, you knew that this movie was going to be somewhere in my list because every time someone mentions it, I mention how much I hated it. I honestly, this movie, it's just the biggest disappointment of the year. Honestly, like literally that's what I wrote down. I have my script right here. This was the biggest disappointment of the year in my opinion because people were expecting it to be good because it's a Marvel film, but it just did not deliver at all. I mean, I really wanted this movie to be good, but it wasn't. I mean, it was so boring. The film was so boring. It's a very recognizable plot, like this whole fish out of water kind of thing. We saw it in Shazam, Wonder Woman, Thor, Jumanji, Man of Steel, E.T., Back to the Future. We've seen this plot used before. And you know, I'm a fan of the idea of like, if you're gonna reuse something, try to make it better. Try to make it, or at least as good. No. I had to change the lighting a little bit. It was getting a little bit dark outside, but let's continue. So the top 3 is a very hard list to kind of put down. My number 1 is set. It was set once I saw the movie. But 2 and 3 was a little bit hard to place, but I was able to make a compromise. X-Men Dark Phoenix. Quite frankly, I was actually expecting this one to be bad, but I gave it a shot anyways. Hopefully, maybe it would have exceeded my expectations. It did not. This one, I have to say, I really hated it. I hated the acting. I really disliked the villains. I disliked watching how they handled the Dark Phoenix story. I mean, come on. I disliked a lot of the decisions and the plot that they made. The film was so boring in so many parts. The only thing that I can actually say that I enjoyed was like the intro space scene that they did where they had to save that one officer, and the train fighting scene, like it was somewhat at the end, there was like they were fighting in the train. That was actually quite enjoyable. But the rest of the film, terrible. Terrible. I actually wish I hadn't seen this movie, because I really hated it, as you guys probably remember from my review. So at number 2, this one was actually a later pick. This movie, I saw it in December because I have heard of the reviews, but I wanted to experience it myself. The Haunting of Sharon Tate delivers on exactly what every single one of the reviews said, because it is probably almost the worst movie of the year. There's nothing good about this movie. They tried to do an interesting spin on the whole Manson family murders. It wasn't good. The acting was atrocious. Let me start with that. Hilary Duff in this movie was just horrid. I don't even know it was just bad. Like, for example, let me show you how they acted a little bit. So imagine you're coming up to me and you're saying, "There's a murder in the house." She would go like this. "Oh my God, I cannot believe there's a murder in this house. What are we going to do, Richard?" Come on, guys. That was just terrible acting. Honestly, I would say watch it. Even though it's my second worst movie of the year, I would say go watch it, because I actually enjoyed how bad it was. I really did enjoy how bad it was. The acting is so hilarious because it's horrible. The plot is really confusing. They tried to do something cool at the end. It didn't work out at all. I think there were more boring parts than entertaining. The plot was horrible. There was no horror behind this film. I was never scared. I never felt any kind of emotion for these characters. Quite frankly, I had a horrible experience watching this movie, but still go check it out, because it is a watch. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. After an entire year of jotting down the best and worst movies of the year, I have come up with my number 1 worst. And that is Cats was hard to watch. I mean, honestly, I don't even know where to begin. Cats is what I'll echo. I actually wrote it down here. These are the words of one of my favorite reviewers, Mr. Dan Merle, or Screen Junkies. Please go check him out. Amazing channel. Non-sponsored. So this is what he said when he reviewed this movie. This movie is a spectacular disaster, and I couldn't agree more. I don't think I've ever seen any movie like this, ever. I've seen a lot of musicals. I love musicals. I'm actually a huge fan of musicals. I did not enjoy this one. I was so lost and confused throughout the entire movie. It is truly a confusing experience. It made me question my love for musicals. It was truly a horrible movie. The only redeemable part here was probably the talented singing. Because literally, even the songs weren't that great. Like, honestly, the one by Memories, All Alone in the Moonlight, that one was great. I actually got feels for that one. That one was actually really well done. But this film is terrible from beginning all the way to the end. Quite frankly, I don't even suggest you should watch it on DVD because it's literally a worthless piece of crap. It is not worth your time. Honestly, this was, I don't even know what else to say. It was just such a bad movie. I'm still confused. I don't remember half of the things that happened because I was more busy recounting how confused I was over if the movie was good or bad. Quite frankly, the worst movie of the year. Worst movie of 2019. So that has been my list. 2019 is done. Now for a new year of horrible movies and hopefully better movies. That being said, remember to like, subscribe, click the notification bell so you know every time I upload a video, which hopefully in 2020 is a little more often. Hopefully. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.